At the time of writing this script, January 31st, 2024, Sega recently announced the remaster of Sonic Generations. However, the biggest and honestly most exciting part of the trailer is the inclusion of Shadow, someone we haven't had as a playable character since Sonic Forces. Now, while I did enjoy playing as him, I will concede that he was just a simple copy-paste of modern Sonic in his moveset at the time. That, however, doesn't seem to be the case, as from the trailer, it seems Shadow's getting a more Sonic 06-esque moveset. From the trailer, it appears Shadow will have Chaos Snap, Chaos Spear, the Boost, and Chaos Control. Maybe. Based on the trailer, it seems Chaos Control will be more used in cutscenes or maybe even QTE sections. But don't let this alarm you, as there may very well be a skill system or maybe a later availability of use. Kinda like Sonic and the Secret Rings, Time Break and Time Slow, or just in vanilla Generations from the skill shop. But what else do we know? Based on the descriptions from both YouTube and Steam, Shadow will hold a campaign of his own where he will, and I quote, journey into his own past, confront painful memories, face familiar foes, and unlock new powers to save the world. Ominous, right? We also know that Black Doom will be playing a major role in this new campaign. Yeah, that's right, Goku will be making a return after 19 years since Shadow's solo game. We also know that from the trailer, the Biolizard will be making an appearance as well, as maybe a boss of sorts, possibly even playing into that painful memories portion from the Steam bio. But what about Gerald, Maria, and those new powers that description mentions? Where are they in the trailer? My guess is that the former two will probably play an important role for his campaign, as well as help redevelop his character with this upcoming Sonic 3 movie, but I feel that would be more used as a weapon against Shadow by Black Doom. And it makes sense, as it was something Black Doom used to convince Shadow to destroy humanity in his debut game, depending on the path he chose, of course. My theory to this is that assuming Ian Flynn is writing for the story again, he may attempt something similar to what both Eclipse and Black Death attempted in Sonic Universe by completely leeching into his mind and using the past and current events of the franchise at that canonical point in time to try and show Shadow how futile Shadow's whole Protector of Earth role is. Now, on the topic of powers, it is something that I feel can really change the playing field for not only him, but for both uses of the Chaos Emeralds and Chaos Energy itself. Perhaps if they have Shadow follow a more Sonic Frontiers combat-oriented experience, we could see some really cool and unique use of Chaos Energy, similar to what Supersonic's Titan battles showed with the energy constructs and cloning from both Grand Slam, the Psy-Loop, and all of his other unique moves. And if there's one thing I would want to see, it would be a further dive into that time-space altering power of Chaos Control. Imagine not only being able to just stop or slow time, but he would do something similar to what South Park did in Fractured But Whole, with things like time glitching or even time reversal to minor degrees in combat sections or even bosses. A little edit in, there was a tweet I found that really helped with that whole new power thing, but not just with Chaos Energy. It made me think about Shadow diving into the Black Arms side of him. Now, I know obviously we didn't really see many unique abilities from the Black Arms, Black Death, or whatever, since they mainly just use weapons, and well, Shadow could just, use a gun himself in that game. But imagine something like the Black Arms Blade, or whatever it was called, like being able to construct that because he is a Black Arms, and being able to do it that way. It'd be really cool to just see him kind of pull a Gohan and use both sides, accept the alien in him, but use it to protect his family and friends on Earth. Well, in the Shadow way, of course. Now, a big question going forward is, how will this affect the established continuity of Sonic Generations? And if there's going to be any retcons? In my opinion, the only possible retcon that could be considered is 2 Sonic Generations on 3DS. And that's only because of the Biolizard boss fight modern Sonic faces. Now, while I personally believe that both 3DS and console generations happen coincidentally, I do understand that others may not see it that way. In my opinion, my counter for that would be that we would still face a Biolizard, but it would just be an altered one through the memory tamping of Black Doom. In SX Generations, which is what I'm going to be calling it from now on, we see that while speaking with the Doom's Eye, the world around him shifts, almost like the reality Shadow's in isn't real. Another explanation is that while Sonic still does fight Biolizard, Shadow fights him as well, however it's been an altered one thanks to Black Doom. It would also explain the new wall climbing moves that we see BioLizard perform in the trailer. And also the altered gun hunters we can see in what's either Westopolis or a distorted speed highway. The next question would be how Black Doom is even going to play a big part in this, because at the same time, Time Eater's currently going around being the big bad that Sonic and Modern and Classic need the Chaos Emeralds for. Well, I think I may have a good theory that could possibly explain this. After facing Sonic, Shadow was freed from the void he was placed in thanks to Eggman sending him through time. However, he wasn't the only one who Eggman tried to remove out of his way from history. As we know from both 3DS and console generations, Heroes and Rush were also put into a time limbo, with 3DS Hero Sonic facing Egg Emperor. From there, we can also assume that not only were Metal Overlord and Egg Salamander, mainly Eggman Nega, possibly removed from their respective points in time, but we can also assume Black Doom was as well. I believe that due to the destroying of time and space from Time Eater, Black Doom from the end of Shadow the Hedgehog, though most likely during his Devil Doom fight against Super Shadow, used the power of Chaos Control to allow him to avoid the effects of Time Eater in his respective time period. We know Time Eater is a reality-altering being thanks to the Encyclopedia, and we know that reality-altering effects can be negated using Chaos Control thanks to Sonic Prime's Shadow Scene, which, considering it is in fact a canon event, thanks on statements, to the game universe. Of course, the use of this much Chaos Energy drained Black Doom, reverting him back to his base state. Using an open time rift caused by the Time Eater's destruction, Black Doom was able to sense and leech into Shadow's mind, the current Shadow. Seeing the events unfolding, Black Doom will try at nothing to either control Shadow once and for all, or harness the ultimate lifeform's power to stop this time creature's rampage, possibly even wielding it to serve the Black Arms. As you could probably guess, overall my hopes for SX Generations are quite high. There is so much that could make Generations even more enjoyable than it originally was. Frontiers, despite its flaws, proved that Sonic can be great. And if Sonic Team can play their cards right, they can also prove that a remaster done by them can be great as well. My message for Sonic Team is this. In 2023, it was considered the year of Sonic, and for his fan base as well. But let's show the world that Sonic can be great for longer than that. He can be great, always. This song said it best. Boost your spirits off the ground. You're a spark that won't go out. We can't go much higher now. Gravity can't hold us down. We're only at the beginning of this one-way dream.